tonight. Man, they've been chatting pretty good. Creepy, how you doing? Thank you for being back. Mara Lee, Gary Mackey, Dusty Soda Fountain Dispenser Cracker, whatever you want to call him this week. Let's see here. Mischief Managed is here. Some weirdo named Clearwater Chad, who apparently doesn't respect temporary restraining orders. Mrs. Trepidus, how we doing tonight? How is the hubby doing? I bet he can't type after getting that chicken wing worked on, huh? Let's see. Anaphylaxis, how are you doing, hon? Thank you for being here. Style Audit 1, what's up? Saya's in the house. All right, make sure they've all been talking pretty good between them. And Nissa, how are you doing tonight? So, all right, tonight we're going to be talking about there's two ways I describe him. He's either a living train wreck or he is the human embodiment of what syphilis would be.
I never heard that one before on him, but he's probably a little of both. I promise you that. So
yeah. Either syphilis or hepatitis. I can't, I mean, he's one of those.
He's definitely a fungus of some type.
Yeah. So who are we talking about?
The great Stuttering John.
Yeah. So why don't you guys tell our fans here who Stuttering John is? Where this?
You take the honors, Chad. Since you are Stuttering John, go ahead.
Well, you do it better, but I can give the shorter version. Stuttering John, he started out with the Howard Stern show. He was an unpaid intern. He did call screening, and then he did. Howard eventually let him answer some phone calls, and he made his way onto the Tonight Show. He was an announcer on the Tonight Show until it finished. He did some various work. He really hasn't done much work. And Joey can correct me. Since about 2014, he pretty much just drinks beer all day and has his YouTube channel.
Wow.
Correct. Well, that's pretty good short version. Stuttering John did start out as an intern where he claimed he graduated college from NYU, which the Shuley Network had proven that his diploma was fake. He never graduated from NYU. He even pulled it off and told his mother he did, and actually went to the ceremony and got pictures with his mother there at NYU in the ceremony that he didn't graduate from. That's number one. Number two, he was a guy that was a phone screener with Howard Stern, and he would always use Howard's contacts and the fans that would call him to profit for his own pocket. He would call interns, he'd take a cab to work and tell them, "Hey, I left my wallet at home. Can you bring me down some money to pay for the taxi?" He did stuff like that. On Sundays at football day, he would order his wife around. He'd be sitting in his recliner watching football for her to bring a beer to his chair every 15 minutes. He went and got a job with the Tonight Show with Jay Leno because Jay Leno had a hard-on for Howard Stern. They were beefing, so he thought it would be funny to take away Stuttering John from them, which was no big loss to the Howard Stern show because by that time Shuley was there, and John was very jealous of Shuley because Shuley was making quite a lot of more money than him, and John tried to get him fired several times. So he goes over and get a job making $500,000 a year, and I think he was there about 10 years. I'm pretty sure about 10 years. Yep. And he bought this couple $1 million home, and when he got in trouble, he didn't pay it. He told his wife and kids they had to leave because they were getting divorced, and he had to sell a house. They couldn't stay in the house, so he threw his kids out. He owes all kind of back taxes. He owes child support. All this has been proven. He's now in Florida, the great Stuttering John, who I was his co-host for quite a bit, and I know him pretty well. And we're going to have fun tonight because you know who I am. I'm the Stuttering John of the podcast here. And, I'm Stuttering John, and I'm the best. Don't you forget that.
There you go. Yeah, just from everything I've seen and heard about this guy, Trainwreck literally is probably about the best emoji they can use for the guy.
Yeah.
He's something else. I mean, geez, the beer every 15 minutes. Does he even have kidneys anymore, or is he just, I
don't know. The last few months, he looked scary health-wise. Sometimes he looked like he was turning yellow. Sometimes he just looked like he had spots all over him from liver. The spots that come when you have bad liver, stuff like that. He just don't look right. He's never looked healthy the past. I would probably say now, probably going on the past 8 months. He moved to Florida. I don't know why he left California. I'm probably going to say he probably owed taxes in California. He probably skedoodled out of there. So, so you never know with him.
Rawson says his main claim to fame on Howard Stern was known for his incredible interviews. I've been trying to watch his content, and it's not watchable. So I'm just wondering, were his interviews that good?
His interview were good because Howard would set him out in situations where he would almost get beat up by the A-list actor he was interviewing.
Cool.
Yeah, he got beat up by Sharon Stone's bodyguard. He sued Sharon Stone for $100,000 and won.
Oh wow!
But he did do. Yeah, he did. He was very aggressive with the questions that Howard would send him with. But he got smacked around a little bit by Morton Downey Jr. or what's his name, Robert Morton Downey Jr. I think smacked him a couple times. John was put out with the Wolves, and he got beat up for it several times. So
wow. And everybody, we're trying to work with Joey's audio. He's having some glitches over there.
Sorry about that. Apologize, please.
You're okay. We're trying to work with the volume right now. So he got 30K from SS.
I don't know SS Social
I'm not
Security.
familiar with that one, yeah.
Or would it be Sylvester Stallone?
Maybe Sylvester Stallone. I don't know. I know we got 100,000 with Sharon Stone when he likes to sue people. John is very quick to sue people. So
he sued XM Radio and lost.
Yes, he did lose that one. Yes, he did. I'm trying to think of one of his biggest goof things that he did. Of recent, he got involved with Vince the Evil Lawyer, who is a real attorney, who kind of took John to New York court, but then they all of a sudden made a settlement out of court. And I think part of it was Vince took part of his channel. And now I know they're on the outside as the last couple of days because John ain't a person you can tell what to do. He'll never follow any format. He'll never listen to anybody. And it's probably payday's Monday. That's probably why they had to fight. John don't want to pay him what he's supposed to pay the guy on Monday. That's probably why this is all happening now. He's trying to get out of paying the lawyer. So, that's what he's probably doing. So,
and be careful, Poe. Be careful.
Sharon Stone. What was that, Chad?
Be careful. Sorry to cut you off. Be careful, Poe, because if you're an enemy of his, he will drive to your house.
Yes, he will.
Come on over.
Yeah, he'll come knocking. He'll wait till you're on vacation, and then he'll come over and yell out in front of your house. But he'll make sure you're not home when he comes.
Nah. Well, I'm retired now. Try to find a time when I'm not home. I work out of my own shop in my garage. Yeah. So good luck with that. The infamous Michael Pocock case. You know anything about that?
Not familiar with that one.
No, me neither.
Or Pop.
Spurge's a good guy. He would know a lot about Stuttering John as well. So he's probably followed him a lot over the years. So
okay. Yeah. So all right. So you've actually worked with this guy, from what I understand.
I have. I've done I tried to be one of his good friends, sincerely from my heart, and I found out to be almost impossible. He's very needy. He starts calling you early in the morning. He calls you all through the afternoon. If you don't agree with him on podcasts and do what he tells you, he gets really sour real quick. He'll get rid of you. He'll yell at you, he'll scream at you, try to belittle you. I didn't take his crap. I fought back with him several times, but I thought that he was a good guy, and Shuli kept telling me, he said, he's not a good guy, but he goes, you're going to have to fight. I'm going to let you find out the hard way, because you need to know. If people just tell you and you do it, you're never going to know the guy's a real piece of dirt.
Right.
So I was glad that I got to find that out the right way. Here's a guy that complains about the trolls calling his mother's home because she's got her landline in the same number probably for 40 years, and they call her at all hours of the night. Instead of going and change his mother's number, when he got called on his cell phone, he changed his cell phone 3 times last year. He didn't care about his mother's phone, but he cries about it all the time on his podcast. That's the type of guy he is.
Well, he lied to his mother and told her that he was graduating from
NYU. That was all. They've proven that he had fake diplomas. There's a lot of stuff that he says that he is, and not. Like I said, he did do good interviews when he was with Howard Stern. He did write a roast for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar roast. He did sign a record contract. He did make a movie, National Lampoon. He did all that. This guy's got more luck. He's got a horseshoe up his rear end. Everything he gets is handed to him, and he don't know how to handle it, and he messes it up. But he has a streak of luck his whole life of getting stuff good handed to him, and he don't know what to do with it. So he just always blows it and gets drunk and messes it up. So,
we all know people like that. They fall in a pile of crap and come out smelling like roses. Never seems to bother them. I sent you a private message, Joe.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Just looking at some of the comments we got down here. Let's see. And I'll send you a follow-up to it.
Yeah, we got a lot of people. I think I put it over to my channel, so I see a lot of the Dabbleverse here. Of course, we're talking about John, so you're probably going to get a lot of Dabbleverse if it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Let me see that. Big fan.
And just for the record, everyone should know that John drives a Mercedes, a rich man's car.
Yes, he does.
All
20 years
right.
old, I think, or 15 years old. That's what, you know.
Yeah, but it's still got that Merc in it, so that's all that matters to him. He's riding in style. That's except every time you got to get it worked on. I had the BMW, and man, if I
I
didn't
had a
buy
couple of
that extended thing on it, it would have been disastrous. Just getting the brakes changed was like $3,000.
Yes.
So,
and the answer to your question earlier, yes, that is exactly right. What you were asking me earlier today.
okay.
Yeah.
So you've got some video here of you dealing with him. You want to tell us what this is about?
It's my last stream with him. He physically he was insulting my wife, asking her sex questions on air, always asking me personal questions about how big my package was. He wanted to know if my wife liked it in the rear end, stuff like that. And my wife would just yell at him and scream at him online, and she'd handle him. But he got really personal. And at the time, I had a falling out with him a few months before, and then Shuli came to me and said, "Why don't you just continue to be his best friend, and we'll work him, and we'll do a work." But then one Sunday, Shuli called me and says, "I can't take it anymore. He's talking so much about you and your wife." And this was that day. He said, "You go in there and nail it and hammer him and get out of there." And this is where I blew up on him this day here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and full screen it, and let's get going. This should be really interesting.
Yeah, you'll enjoy this. Nope, that's me. Here we go, and there we go. I think is that me? I got started, right? Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Go ahead and full screen it.
Yeah, is it full screen now?
No.
Let's see.
Wait a minute. This is content? Him sitting there sucking on a Slurpee or a big gulp?
Howdy, boy.
Dude, you ever drink this shit?
What do you got? Oh, boy. Oh.
Goodness.
That's bad news.
Yeah, that's going to ruin your liver
a
lot faster than the other ones.
No, I know, and I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Hey, Joey, say hi to Stevie Lou.
What's up?
But he said say hello, not what's up.
Well, who the fuck is he to tell me anything? I said, "What's up?"
Why are you guys at odds?
I mean, I should listen to someone say I should say hello to you. I mean, who are you? Fucking the king of fucking YouTube or what?
No, you guys keep. Stevie,
And what is the shit you fucking? You said you'd fuck my wife, John?
I said you have a hot wife. I would.
You just said you would fuck my wife? Are you fucking retarded?
I said I would hit her. She's hot.
Okay, why would you even fucking say something like that?
I said about Vince Aloy's wife too.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not Vince the fucking lawyer. You think I give a fuck?
I'm trying to compliment her.
That's not a fucking compliment. That's you being a fucking douchebag.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, that's exactly what the fuck it was.
I was trying to say she was hot. I would.
Saying the problem is one thing, but saying you're gonna fuck my wife? Are you fucking mentally insane?
I said I would hit that.
So you're mentally fucking insane to go say something like that about my wife when you're fucking supposed to be my friend.
Yeah, I wish other people would say that they would hit my girlfriend.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's disrespectful and I don't fucking appreciate it.
That's what you do to hot women. You hit them.
No, that's not, maybe that's what you fucking do, okay? Maybe that's what you fucking do.
Why are you so angry, Joey?
Because you don't fucking talk about my wife like that, John. You're gonna have a little fucking problem with me when you keep fucking doing that shit.
It was a compliment, Joey.
No, that's not a fucking compliment. Don't fucking talk about my wife like that again on the fucking air.
That was a compliment, Joey.
That's not a compliment. That's you being a fucking dickhead.
Hey, pause that right there, Joe.
On me, okay?
Yeah. The fact that he is.
What am I talking about? Hang on. I'm having a problem with my. Oh my god.
What are you fucking asshole? Come on,
Get the fucking little piss out of you ever see you.
I
can't. There we go. Now I can try this out.
How's that?
It's okay, Joey.
All right, here we go. I'm having all kind of problems today. For the last 3 hours, I've been having problems with my sound, with everything. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
Here we go.
But the simple fact that he thinks that it's okay to make comments about your wife like that, and he's supposed to be your friend.
Correct.
This is astonishing to me. And he truly looks like he's shocked by this.
He really does, and he'll never take responsibility. He tried to push it off on me. He said, "Well, this is what we did in the day. Howard and all of us hung around in the studio. We talk about hitting each other's wives and girlfriends. That's what we did." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me, John? This ain't 1980. This ain't the 80s and early 90s." And he just went on, and Stevie Lou being here, who's a friend of mine at the time. I mean, we're friends now again, but Stevie Lou was really trolling John. He was trying to be John's best friend, so we get John over to his channel so he could get some get BYB going. And it worked for Quadfather because getting John over there, he blew up his station, his YouTube channel blew up really big. And Quadfather does a great podcast now, so it really went in their favor. But Stevie Lou and Quadfather are no longer partners in BYB. So, but it gets really interesting here because John decided he's going to argue back with me, and then he bans me out of there. So. Whenever you want me to start it back up, I can do that. All right. There we go. All right.
Great video so far.
Idiot.
Wow.
What an idiot.
I mean,
I think we missed that part. Let me go back to where he came in. Here's the part where he was No, that's not a fucking compliment. Don't fucking talk about my wife like that again on the fucking air.
That was a compliment, Joey.
That's not a compliment. That's you being a fucking dickhead thinking you're gonna fucking bounce on me, okay?
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Trigger ass, fuck. What are you fucking talking about?
You're telling me. Telling me, you fucking asshole. Come on, you Johnny.
Get the fucking little piss out of you ever see you.
Yeah, get out, motherfucker, in your ass. How's that? Fucking idiot.
Wow.
What an idiot.
I mean, what are you supposed to say?
watching
She's an
Stevie's
elegant
just
lady.
hitting on the ball.
Like, come on, Joey. See, he's
It's
giving you.
It was just. I mean, she gave me the order to go now, and I want you to unload on him. Forget about the work, He couldn't take it, and then for about 2 straight weeks, he was texting me the most ungodly things about my wife. And John's got 2 transgender kids. I don't know if you know that. His son became his daughter, and his daughter became his son. So, so I'm not a guy that would talk about family or kids. I don't really like that. But he was hammering on my kids and my wife, so I bit back at him a little bit on his son, and he was sending me messages like, "How much for me and Dan to double team your wife? How much would you charge me?" Stuff like that on a regular basis. He was calling me at night when he was drunk, threatening me. John, because John had he was on that movie Gotti, the one that John Travolta did. He did something on that movie set, and he had dinner or lunch with John Gotti Jr. So. Now he's his best friend, and I laughed at him because I told him, I go, from what I know, John Gotti Jr. couldn't wait to get away from you, and he thinks he's all, so he basically threatens people. I know the mafia. I'm going to come and get you. I'm going to get you beat up. I don't know, the legendary cabbie, the disc jockey cabbie, that was back in the day with Howard Stern. He was a friend. They fought in a boxing match. You could pull that footage up if you want to show any of that earlier stuff of John. Where he won with Cabby. Cabby towered over him, and it was obvious the fix was in because it was Howard Stern through the whole. He paid for all the sponsors and him, and they made it where John won. And really, Cabby would have killed him. Cabby podcasted me. He just passed away a few months ago, and he was podcasting me quite a bit right till he died. Like a couple of days before he died, he did a podcast with me, and he knew he was real sick, and he had lost able to walk. He lost all his legs. He was a military guy who also he did federal prison for a year for income tax evasion. He went on air and he said that the money for the fight he didn't pay no taxes on. The IRS happened to be here listening to Howard Stern that day, and they came and got him for income tax evasion because he said on air he didn't pay income tax on $100,000 he got. So he got a year in prison. So, but Cabby was an awesome dude.
Like dishing yourself out like that on live.
Yeah.
On live.
But that was pretty much it on that one. Let me stop that shit. You want to keep going back at it? We'll go down and finish the rest here. Then that's fine. This is the fight. Was that
brought up the cabbie fight?
Okay.
So.
All right. Should I stop what I had? Right. I guess that button there. We go like that. Did I do that right?
You'd paused it already, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, this is the Cabby fight.
Yeah.
You can see Cabby's way bigger than him. I mean, he towers over John.
Yeah.
What a round. Another right. 10 seconds. Cabby has Stuttering John up against the ropes. Another right hand by Stuttering John. And another.
Now,
whoa. What do you make of that?
Was this?
The crowd is going nuts, I think, for John.
Where was this at? Oh, this is at what Trump's Taj Mahal there in Atlantic City.
That's probably where it was. Yeah, I mean everybody was there. Every A-list actor, Don King, all the Whack Packers, Howard Stern crew. It was a pretty big event. They got paid pretty well. I think they each got 100,000, or the loser got 100,000. I don't know what John got. John probably got a couple 100,000 out of that. So,
wow. Yeah, well, that place is sold out, it looked like. So they had a good crowd for it. They definitely Stern has he's got a crowd that's going to come and see his stuff. So
he did back then for sure. So
I hope the both of them at least got some kind of payment out of it. I mean, whether or not I like either one of them, it's just plain and simple. I mean, they're out there they're out there beating the crap out of each other, and at least they should get something for what they're doing.
Well, I know Cabby got 100,000 for sure. So John won the fight, so I'm sure he got quite a bit more. So
wow, yeah, that's no, I'm just looking at some of the comments. Wow, yeah, this is amazing to me. So. Now, as you were saying, when he was working for Howard Stern, one of the things he was doing was he was literally hitting people up for money while he was doing it.
Well, anybody that called into the show, because he was the call screener, that he had first contact with the people trying to get on air. And if it was anybody that was famous, anybody that was that could help John make money, stockbrokers, anybody that could make John's life a lot easier financially or get him tickets to ball games, anything that John could get out of it, he would use that, and Howard would catch him all the time. Howard said, so you're doing all this on my name? And he goes, no, the guy called in. He's my friend. He would lie to Howard. Oh, me and him are good friends. We know each other from a long time ago, and they would always catch him. If you go back to look at Stuttering John on Howard Stern, you'll catch Howard bashing him and yelling at him so many times. And the way he left Howard Stern was pretty shitty. He didn't even call them. He gloated. And then what I heard was, Jay Leno did it for two reasons. One, because he was trying to get back at Howard Stern. And two, somebody told him that Stuttering John was a real comedian and he was real funny and he'd be the perfect guy. About 3 or 4 weeks into that, they found Jay goes, this guy's not funny. And they wound up weeding him off into a different position in the back where he wasn't so much being on the TV with Jay Leno, because he claims to be one of the top comedians, but he's not. The guy is terrible. So.
Yeah, I've been watching, like I said, I've been watching his content. I can't make it through a single episode. I make it maybe 10, 15 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Yeah. It's absolutely killing me. Here's this is from the Shuley Network, and it says Howard Stern humiliates Stuttering John, Blunder Years clips.
Oh yeah,
that should be good.
Yeah.
Oh, this should be a fun one to watch here. All right.
I have to make my phone calls. I have to make my phone calls after the show. I have to call L.A.
Right.
Well, call from your house. I don't care. And save your bills and we'll pay them. What do you mean? Stuttering John has time. You're telling me no one has any time to do what I need done, but Stuttering John can take calls from stockbrokers all morning. Mm. That sticks in my craw.
It should.
Go home and take calls from a stockbroker. That's what I do. Oh, here you are. Hey, listen, since Gary doesn't know how to run the office for me.
How about that blazer with the pads, the shoulder pad? Looks like he should be running out of the tunnel.
Since he's such a nitwit. What? It's only what? Yeah, it's 10 minutes that work could be going on.
Well, look how different he looks.
Yeah.
There. I mean, that is not the person I see on those live clips I've been watching.
He's aged quite a bit. He looks way different in his age now than he did when he was in his 20s and 30s.
Yeah, my goodness.
What? It's only what? Yeah, it's 10 minutes that work could be going on.
It's amazing how this.
No. I thought about it.
I love baffled John.
Yeah.
I had no clue you felt this way.
I shouldn't be doing this.
Well, he's been having that I'm surprised look for a couple decades now, at least, huh?
Oh, probably for the last 30 years. John never is a guy. He'll never admit he's wrong. Everybody's beneath him. He's the best comedian. He's the Dabbleverse. He's the guy with the real talent. The shitware, which is Shuley Network. They're got no talent. Brennan's got no talent. Everybody's got no talent. and he is the only one legitimately that has a resume that he is really somebody, and he has made money, and he has credits and credibility, and the guy is one lie after another. And Shuley and Carl and even the Onion and even Brennan have done a very good job at when they call John out. They really have a lot of good and of course the fans who really are participate with the Stuttering John stuff. They dig deep to get they investigate to get all these shows that really hammer John the right information. I mean, they spend their own money. It's really great how many people hate him, and he thinks everybody loves him.
Right. That's one of those things. If you're going to be doing this kind of stuff where you're going to be putting yourself out there in the public view,
right?
You can't be just coming out and just vomiting lies to everybody.
Yeah,
because there are people who it is their sole intent to sit there and say, "Oh, you're such a friggin' liar," and I'm going to prove it. And they'll go back and check out every instance of your life that they can find.
Right.
So coming on here and going on live and telling those kinds of lies, I don't know what he ever expected to accomplish with it, because it's not going to get him anywhere.
No,
people will find him out way too quick. And like you said, the folks over there at Shuley, they literally they're calling him out left and right on it. I mean, they're literally doing daily live streams about this guy. I
mean, that's their business. Shuley, this is just not a podcast. Shuley, TSN, that's his livelihood. That's his business. He's got a lot invested in the four of those guys, and he really. They do it right. From A to Z, they do everything right. And they know John the backwards and forwards of every aspect of his life. And they call him on it. And John's always every day in the microphone saying, that's not true, and he'll always come up with a very valid reason how they're lying. And he's very good at it, to just look into the mic and tell you that's not true. He says he graduated. There's no physical record he graduated from NYU. They went to look every possible way they could find the record. There's no diploma for John being there. So he continues to say he did graduate from there, and he shows pictures of his mother in his gown. And obviously, if he had pictures at NYU, he must have faked that with his mother and did something with the school to make him look like he graduated, just so his parents wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? That sounds just like up his alley what he would do. So
wow. The Stern Hate podcast talk about Shuley.
Yeah. There's hate all over. Shuley gets a lot of flack from people, but Shuley is one of the nicest individuals you could ever meet. I mean, he is just awesome. He helps. What he does. He goes out and he does the raids, and he gives his whole channel, gives money to people. I mean, Shuley, he's very, very. He's a very good businessman. He's got a good product. Uncle Rico is probably, in my opinion, was the #1 show the last 2 years. He just does a great job. So,
yeah, it's I like watching the content on Shuley there. I think they put out some pretty good stuff, and they bringing in all the different people that they do. They certainly help to break it up from being just monotonous day after day hating on Stuttering John. Let's see. Radio Gunk and Quite Frankly Have No Love for Shuley. Who are they?
Radio Gunk, she covers a lot of Howard Stern stuff. Nice people. I think I did meet them. I met them somewhere at one of these events. The one here in Florida, the WATP in Largo, I think that Radio Gunk was there. But nice person. But she knows Howard Stern, everything about him. She talks about Howard Stern. So she's got a connection with all the old Howard Stern people. So that would be her connection. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna keep going on this. Let's see how this goes.
It's just like you can't make friends on the phone. I mean, what's the big deal?
All day yesterday, I couldn't wait to get in here and yell at you guys, especially Fafa Foley, because this I do hold him responsible.
That ain't Fafa Foley's fault.
Oh yes, it is, pal. He's in charge of you. He should have laid down the law to you first. They say, "Hey, we got things." Fafa Foley tells me, "Bluff, the phone's ringing here all morning. We need like 3 interns just to answer the phones."
He was just.
No, he's not exactly.
You got one intern the size of 2. I mean, you just need one more.
Howard, this is what he told me.
Howard, as usual, you've turned everything around.
Tell me what I've done wrong.
It was during the day.
Yes.
From 10 o'clock on after the show that we need people to answer the phones. I don't have a problem with the phones.
10 o'clock
Gary looks like he
so
sells gyros on the side.
He really does.
My friend.
So is that they just sit there and just crap on Fafa Foley the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, this is an old one, but if you watch some of Stuttering John today, you'll get a really good idea. You know, all you got to do is watch a little bit of his older stuff and then see how he is today, and you could pretty much put together that this guy is just way out there, man. He is. And I tell you what, I got to admit, I was the dumbest guy. I really thought he was capable of being someone's friend. For months, I really tried, and he does a 180 on you just like that, and he'll start yelling at you. But see, I was the one person that I would let him do that to me. I challenged him. He got mad at me. You know, I went a couple weeks. There was like 1 week, 4 days in a row. He sent me a link, and I wouldn't go on. He calls me up on the 5th day. Are you ghosting me? Why didn't you take? I go, I'm busy, John. I'm with my wife. I'm kind of taking a week off. And he gets all mad. Well, I don't need you anyhow. And then he'll be on air, and he'll go, hey, Joe, you'll see you in the chat. Hey, why don't you come on? I need you. He does it to Clay Dabbler, who he's now trashing. I mean,
wow.
The lifespan of being a friend with John is, if you're lucky, 8 months will be a top bill. And I think Quadfather and Clay are probably top 2, and I probably like 3 in the slot there for the last year and a half. So, but he's a very difficult person. He dumps on all his mods. He used to get drunk and call his mods to stay on the phone with him so he wouldn't kill somebody while he was driving drunk. So he'd make it home and he'd make them. He'd harass his mods. He done a lot of horrible things to them. You know, he's just not a nice guy.
Wow. That's well, we're gonna keep going on this. He's just he seems like a peach, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have a theory that the minute John's laziness is contagious, and the minute John left that place, not that Gary was bad before, but I feel like he went into
The next level.
Right? That's what I feel like. Gyros by Gary. Go check him out. We'll be seeing that in the chat soon.
And if anybody doesn't know Stern that well, this was like prime Stern. This was the guy. He was at the top of his game. He was still angry and fucking, and he would eviscerate people.
Yeah, especially, and they've all said, especially when they didn't have a guest for that day, it was like time to settle all family business on the air. You know. And it was amazing. I've always said it's the first reality show ever. You know, is this guy bringing in his employees, his boss, and fucking chewing him a new asshole. Yeah. Amazing.
I mean, it's a basic problem, but he would turn it into a 2-hour thing.
Yeah, well, also nobody broadcasting shared that side of work that everybody can relate to. So when he did that, everybody was like, "Oh, we have a fucking Baba Booey at our job," or "We have a boss like Tom Chiasano."
We have an asshole who's on the phone all day making personal calls.
Right.
I like to cook at home.
You like to cook at home?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's why I know the angles.
Yeah, we're gonna fast forward to
10 o'clock after. So no work can go on before 9 o'clock.
Nobody said that. You're saying that.
No, you says to me that Stuttering John has time to sit and take calls from stockbrokers.
You want to twist it
It's a
around.
big fun
so
party here. Everybody wants to party on my ass. I need real workers. I need work going.
You need Chinamen.
on. No, I don't need you. Hey, pal, I don't need Chinamen, and I don't need you.
If you don't need me,
I don't need you. You resign?
Nope.
Please resign.
This was my favorite. Is when Gary's like, "Fire me," and he's like, "You're fired. Get out of here." He goes, "I'm not leaving." What do you think of that? He goes, "Now you can't get rid of me."
No, I don't want to resign. You need to fire me.
Okay, you're fired.
Okay.
All right. Now, can you leave?
No. I need to collect my benefits.
Oh, your benefits.
So I have his job.
Oh. You know what I need? I need
Look at
5
your
for
boy,
North.
John doesn't even wait for the corpse to fall on the ground.
Can I have his job and not do it as well as not doing my job that I have currently?
And then I can watch me not doing my job and not say anything.
I mean, Jesus, John, that mustache is still warm.
Yeah, John, I'm in charge now. I'm going to put in a good word for you for a raise. Thanks, John. You're welcome, John. You're welcome, John. Hey,
you know, when I look back and I think back about the years when Howard Stern was in his prime like that, like they were talking about. I mean, honestly, when you see how Howard Stern acted and you're in part of his inner circle as part of his crew or his cast or one of his friends, I can see some of that attitude and that way that he handles things rubbing off and going that direction. So I can understand that, but it kind of looks like he came in with that kind of attitude before he even met Stern. So it looks like he was playing the angle from day one, and he saw a real great opportunity there and took it.
Yeah. He he was, I don't think John is he's smart in a lot of ways. People think he's dumb, but a guy that has made it this far doing what he's done, which is absolutely, but he always made money and he always had a great opportunity. So you got to have some type of talent to maintain that for years and years and years, whether it was wrong or not. He has that gift there. And like I said, he's one of the luckiest people I've ever seen or heard of that what has fell in his lap over the years. Unbelievable. I mean, just unbelievable.
I'm just looking at some of these comments here. Yeah. The thing is, and I'm watching the progression because I see back in these earlier clips when you see him when he's younger like that. And now you see the person that's there now. He looks like someone who has been they've been embalmed already.
Yeah.
He's turning gray. He just, his skin, if it looked any more like leather, it'd still be part of the cow. Yeah. He's just, it's pretty crazy. Chad, what do you think?
Go ahead, Chad.
Well, he does work out every day. He's been in the best shape of his life, he says. That's what he says. He goes to the gym 5 times a week.
12-ounce curls.
Yeah, there you go.
He's kind of the guy. He's kind of the guy you love to hate.
Yes, he is. He definitely has a good face.
I was working at this one place, and there was a woman there who was quite hefty, and they were talking to her about thinking about losing weight and all that, and she's like, I work out every day, and they're like, yeah, I'm moving like this, but that's about the only workout you're getting. You need to do something for the rest of your body.
Yeah,
and how in the world you can live like that, and there at some point the whole bottom's going to drop out of everything. You can only be in that spotlight for so long, and then you guys see how it is. It literally turns on you in the blink of an eye.
Very true. Very true.
Is that what he's doing now? That's literally how he's making his living? Is he's literally just being someone that everybody craps on?
Well, here's John's theory. John will never admit that he's really broken. He needs the podcast. John claims he has great investments. He has stock. He has pensions coming from the Writers Guild. He has a pension coming from that. He was a school teacher. I think he said he had a pension coming from that. I don't know how a substitute teacher for 1 or 2 years has a pension for school. I don't never heard of that. And he claims he's got a Writers Guild, but there's no proof that he's even renewed his membership. He tells everybody he don't need the podcast. He's got plenty of money. Nothing's in his name. Everything in his mother's name. She pays for everything in her name. Obviously, that has to do with all the tax liens he has on him because he's smart enough to know. Well, if I got tax liens and I buy something, they're gonna put a lien on my house. They're gonna put a lien on my car as soon as they see something in my name, which they will. That's what the tax people are gonna do. They might not collect taxes from you, but you'll have those liens till you die. You know what I'm saying? So he knows that. So he ran out of California for whatever reason, and the house in Florida. When Vince was taken to court, he sold back to his mother for $10, which I think will turn out to be an illegal transaction the way he did it. But he is just John in his mind. He's convinced that he is rich. He's so stuck in those days that he don't need people, and he gets daily. The super chats he gets are all hate super chats. He might have 3 or 4 guys that really like him that send him a lot of money. They did anyhow. They pulled away from him now. But most of his stuff is $2 and $5 super chats that are hate super chats. They eat him up and say the most ungodly things. And I'm not too far behind them. I get just as many hate stuff from like he does. And a lot of my stuff came when I hooked up with him is when it really turned for me for the worse, because they really turned on me quickly when I started being for John and sticking up for John. So that was a big problem for me for a few months. But at the end of the day, I waited out. I did the best I could to be his friend. I found out for myself he was a true piece of garbage, and I made the right decision, and I broke away from him. I'm just not going to go. It's like if you tell me, hey, don't hang with that guy, but the guy's been cool with me, I'm not going to know unless I find out. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what Shuli and Carl told me. No, you keep being his friend, and just remember when it comes where he's really going to get you, just be careful. And I was. I mean, John does a lot of this, but there's a part of me that will always feel sorry for him and have a soft spot for him because he's just like Chad said. He's a guy you love to hate, or the guy that you can love and then hate at the same time. He has that quality.
He's like who was that? Charlie Chaplin or Fatty Arbuckle, one of the old timers, the lovable loser.
Yeah. The greatest stream of all time, John, was the drunken stream that he did with myself, DG. It was probably the best podcast of the Dabbleverse by far over the last 2 years. He was so inebriated, he asked me to commit murder online.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is that he'd probably the kind that get away with saying it was just for the content. We
correct
in that. And WW says, I don't get this. The hate super chats. They're paying him with no payoff because he doesn't care.
Right.
He does care because it's money in his pocket, money in his bank account. So he's literally trying to, you know, he wants you to do that. And who was it here?
Hi, Miss Kitty.
That's who I was looking for was Kitty's if he stopped drinking and other things, he'd be better off. I honestly don't know. When you look like that and you've been drinking that hard and heavy for that long, to stop drinking, you may not make it much longer. I know a lot of people that did that stuff and ended up with strokes, heart attacks, different things. So, you know, he's probably got himself past the limit now if he was literally doing a beer every 15 minutes. So
he drinks pretty heavy. He claims that he doesn't even get drunk, that it's like drinking water. But I'll tell you a fact that with John, and I just lost my train of thought, but John's the type of guy that he'll always push people around. He'll always try to conquer over everybody. He's got a friend. He does have one long life friend that has been with him since high school or grammar school, and that's Hitman Dan. They've been friends for a long time, but I kind of, the few times I've seen them together, he kind of pretty much is pretty nasty to Dan and orders him around. And the wife, Dan's wife, and Dan, they've been friends with John a long time. But you could see that he's probably really could be mean to them guys. You know what I'm saying? Where he orders them around. He gets anybody to do stuff for him. He'll just get people to just eat out of his hand. That's how good he is. But like he's going around saying now he's got a brand new house in Florida. His house was built like 50 years ago, I think. I don't in the 60s or 70s. It's not a brand. I've been out to his friend of his house. He's not a brand new house. He drives an old Mercedes. I think it's about 12 or 15 years old. He had a busted Harley that I don't know if he has it anymore. But the biggest thing with John is he'll never let anybody think he's broke. He'll go, I don't need this stuff. I can walk away at a time. When I leave, everybody's going to be, they're going to be mad that I left because they only have content. But a lot of people now, from what I understand, are really played out. They're overplayed out with him now because he's been really boring. The whole thing with Vince, the lawyer, I told everybody from the beginning, Vince he's a legitimate lawyer and filed a legitimate lawsuit, but I told everybody from the beginning it was a work that was going to get dropped. They were going to become best friends again, that's what had happened. And John will agree to anything to get him out of something like a lawsuit. And now it's payday Monday, and him and Vince started fighting a couple of days ago. So it's amazing how he's got to come up with that 30 or 40% that Vince is taking from him, and he don't want to pay. So if he makes enemies with him, that's his out to say, I'm not giving you $1. Take me to court. And then they'll start all over again. You know, so that's what John will do. So
who are Ron and Fez?
Ron and Fez. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know that one. Yeah, and Kitty brought it something else, and this is a literal thing. Someone I was talking to my mom the other day, and someone that I grew up with literally has alcoholic dementia.
Yes.
She doesn't remember anything, can't take care of herself. She is literally drunk herself to the point where she's pretty much pickled her own brain.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. It's very tough. I mean, it is a disease. Don't get me wrong. Being a long-term drug addict, it's a disease without a doubt. But you got to want to help yourself at some point. And I don't think John cares about life. I just really don't believe he does, you know?
Yeah. And Rick from New York, apparently they are fighting again. So,
yep.
Remember when I told you, Rick, that was probably a work? I think I told you that when I was with you in New York. So, Yeah, Vince. I know Vince pretty well, and he's one of the best trolls you'll ever meet. He's one of the he's a good troll. Though. He does it right, and he throws his money around. But he's a very successful lawyer, very successful. Wow. So.
Yeah, I'm just, the more I'm going into this, I think we need to start making this a regular thing on Saturday nights, just reviewing what he's done through the week. I think one of the problems he has here is like the prankster live streamers or prankster content people. You have to continually get more and more and more insane with what you're doing in order to keep people attentive to what you're doing. Right. You've got the Johnny Somali who got deported from Japan. He's lucky he wasn't in prison in Japan for the things that he did. Right. There's a bunch of them. But this is literally what, this is the world we live in, where they have to do these crazy things to get people to watch their content. And then they have to just increase it and make it more and more concentrated as they go.
Well, I can tell you this much. If you want to have fun with this, you really want to go with this, I'm telling you, the best way to do it is to provoke John as much as you can, because the best is to get the interaction back that he's going to be talking about us. That's going to be the key, because then once he don't like you, he's going to challenge you to a boxing match, and he'll pet up the money, but he'll get it all arranged, and he won't show up though. He won't show up. I promise you.
If he wants to challenge me, I'll take it. Bring it on, son. We can do that. I'm not worried about that. Shoot, I put a little more money in my pocket. That pension from the police department only goes so far.
I think you would enjoy this. John's an interesting character, and there's so many talented people in the Dabbleverse that are chatters and fans that write songs about him, that do all kinds of good things for like the bigger shows. They in their Discord. There's so many talented people that have done. Sheet Citizen did a whole documentary on John. You got to find that one. That was pretty good. That was probably one of the best I've seen on John. And you got Ray DeVito's got his Frank and Sheckler, who were Stuttering John had Citizens and Shulies and Carl, and so Ray goes kind of through the same thing with a couple people too, getting to that point. And yeah, John could be an interesting guy. He's a draw. I promise you that. You put him on a thumbnail and his name's in your description, and you're talking about him, you're gonna draw an extra 1,000 people on views. I promise you that. So
wow.
Yeah.
I saw somebody had posted a picture of a Batman tattoo, and Red Bull, that the devil was talking about it. When did you get that?
I got that in prison. Well, no, I got to get this one I got before prison. I had it colored right before I got in because I covered up a name there. So
Mischief, cash prize, share it with my mods, huh? Hey, you know what? I'd love to take care of all of you. Chad, you've got a few prison tats too, don't you? But most of yours are like tramp stamps and stuff like that, right?
That's true, Poe. That's true.
Yeah, you were telling me about that one. You got Kermit the Frog mowing the lawn down there.
Really? That's an interesting one. I like it. Well, I think Chad is very gutsy. I really think the world of Chad and you. But Chad to imitate one of the biggest hated guys in the internet, for him to do what he does daily, my hat's off to you. That's why I told him, anything I can tell you about Stuttering John so you get more truth on this guy, I'm there for you, buddy. I thought it was the greatest idea when I was introduced to Chad and he was doing Stuttering John. It's just unbelievable.
Figure out a way to get Stuttering John on here and Chad at the same time, and have Chad do Stuttering John while Stuttering John's on.
That'd be great. He said he would have me on a show, but it never happened. He never called.
I sent the number. Your number to Clay.
Yeah, Clay gave it to him too, but he never called. Which is, it is what it is.
And now they're on the out, so I don't know. I mean,
I think that literally might break the internet. Yeah, have those two going at it like that. I think that'd be hilarious. Have those two just sitting there, just dumb bumming each other for an hour.
And he likes to correct people on punctuality and how to spell. So if you send him a super chat and you misspelled it, he's going to rip you apart and tell you, Joey, the next time you're going to send a super chat and you're going to, you must put this, the comma here, and and this is not how you spell this. And there's a double negative over here. This is how he's a wise guy to you. That's what he does when he wants to be a smart ass to you,
Let's see. Maybe refer to Clearwater Chat as Clearwater. It's sounding like you're talking about Zumak.
Zumak? I don't really have any dealings with Chad Zumak. Chad is obviously has been a comedian for 20 years. I'm not a comedian. I don't have a resume like that. And Chad will not deal with anybody that's not from his world and has at least a resume like him, which I never claimed to. But he does live very close to me where I live. And I thought people, because he's got a criminal record and I got some criminal problems, that him and I doing a podcast streaming around Tampa in a car, would be a big hit. And he don't want to do it. And he was even asked by Brennan from MLC. I think it would be a hit. Bob Levy told him he just don't want nothing to do with me. He doesn't like me at all because I don't have credentials like him. I'm not in his world, and that's why he don't like me. That's the main reason. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were there, baby. Sorry. I didn't know my wife was still down.
For anyone that doesn't
know, I'm not Asian. I am actually Cherokee and Irish and Scottish. So.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, Chad Zumock, to me, he reminds me of the cat burglar from Home Alone. He doesn't impress me. He runs around wearing a winter cap and sunglasses, and he doesn't impress me at all.
Yeah. I got my new show coming out Tuesday, the Uncle Rocco Show, which is behind me, which I'm advertising, which is about Tukey and Rocco, which I really am good friends with them, but it's just they break my chops enough, so I'm just going to have a little fun and break their chops back, And Rocco's kind of excited, but I just thought there was too many people doing Stuttering John, so I could have, at the time I had the inside track with John, I could have got him on to come on a lot. It could have worked. I didn't want to go down that lane because he's a handful, man. He is just a handful, and you got to have full time. It's like being married to him. You have to almost be married to him to give him the attention he needs. That's how needy he is. So
let's see. Let's see here, WW. It's because he wants to be seen as a genius, and he does that with minor things, spelling corrections. The same with his "What color is the sky?" trivia. If he had intelligence, he would be intolerable.
Very true. Very true.
That's kind of like Jennifer Garner on the Conan O'Brien show, where she literally tried to tell him that a word didn't exist, and he pulls out a dictionary and goes, "Oh, well, what is this right here?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kills me when you got people like that are trying to act like they're so smart. Let's see. I'm just trying to read some of the chats here to see what everybody's saying.
A lot of negative stuff about me in that chat room right now. So
I didn't see. I put let's see. I didn't see yours, Carl's. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. Let's see. All right. So yeah, I think that we should meet back up again and do some more on this guy, because I have a feeling he's going to be one of those never-ending fountains. He's going to be the eternal flame of just insanity.
Yeah, I agree. You agree with that, Chad? Because most of us know he's really broke, and he makes he probably clears 6,000 or 7,000 a month with the YouTube channel, because he gets 200-300 a day, I would say, pretty much every day. He has some bigger days. He did have 4 or 5 people that were paying him like hundreds in the 50s, and that's not so much. But he mostly is the king of $2 and $5 super chat. But they add up. He gets a lot of them. He draws about 600-700 people in his chat room. Everybody takes a shot at him. But he's entertaining. He's entertaining as hell, and he'll turn something negative on him really quick away from him, and he's good at that. And I couldn't stay friends with him. I have no desire to be his friend ever again, or ever really be in his circle. I learned a very valuable lesson, but like I said, it was only in the back of my head. Everybody had told me that. I just had to find out and see it for myself. If I was gonna not be friends with somebody, I had to do it my way to make sure that what everybody was telling me was 100%, and they were all right. They were all right. I mean, they nailed him on the plague. But you find out the hard way if you get mixed up with John. So.
Yeah, I mean, we all that's how we learn. We don't learn from our wins.
Right.
It's our losses that teach us the most. And yeah, Mr. Blue Sky's got it right. It was the word snuck was the word that Conan used, and she had to correct him on that. So all right, gentlemen. Well, let's, if you guys are up for it, we'll come back next Saturday, and we're gonna tear the
absolutely
tear the out of him. So
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff you can find on John, and anything that you want, I'll start digging some stuff and send it to you to read, and I'll send you what I find. But there's a lot of stuff, and then I like the idea of getting John and Chad together. I think that would be a marvelous idea to just see how John belittles you and what he's going to say to you that you're not even close, or I really want to see his reaction because I know he knows about you now for sure. I'm almost
he connected with me for a few seconds. He said, when Clay was trying to bring him on the show a few times, he said John said I was a funny looking guy, and then he played the clips and he said, yeah, I'm funny, but it never, nothing ever materialized.
I think if you do this right, you'll be all right, because if you could really get into the character and really make fun of him in a way where you could be in him, but do it in a different kind of way, like he does it, tweak it a little bit. I think you're going to get a lot of traction out of it, because I don't think anybody has done that I've seen since I've been on the internet to actually take over. Like I was sorry to cut you off. I am trying to tweak it a little bit. Like I'm doing streams as John, where I'm teaching people about the Magna Carta and the stuff like that. Right. Here's what I would, like I told you before, make sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed and you know all the facts 100%, because he will call you on that. If you're not sure, I told you could ask me. If I'm not sure, we'll get you the right answer. That's the best way. As long as you got all the knowledge, you could beat him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way you could beat him.
And that's why I'm more than happy to just sit there and just react to how he acts in his own live streams. Yeah.
He'll get winning this stream tonight. I promise you. There's going to be a lot of snitches in this chat room that are going to run to John and tell him. So you ain't got to worry about this. He will know. He probably is watching it right now, especially that he finds out I'm talking about him, because I don't talk about him no more, and he's probably going to be talking tomorrow about us or the next day. I promise you.
There'll be a road trip to Michigan, Poe.
John, be a man, grow a pair, come on live with Clearwater Chad as Stuttering John. Let's see how you hold up against our boy here, who is the guy.
Hey, John, don't you know who I am? I'm Stuttering John. John, you know who I am? I'm the Dabavus. You know that? I am the reason everybody's here. Don't you know that?
Chad, let's hear it. Come on, give us some Stuttering John there, son.
Okay. Okay, take off my shirt. I have stocks. I have bonds, annuities, real estate, a diversified portfolio. Does the dues payer have stocks, bonds, annuities, real estate, a diversified portfolio? I ask you guys, Tony.
I like when you do the one with I drive it. Does the dude payer have a Mercedes Benz? Huh? Is the dude payer? Is he the Duke? I'm the real Duke.
Thanks.
I used to be called the baby goat. He was the goat, and I was the baby goat when we were together. And I got some crazy people made pictures of me and him as a goat with our face on it, drinking a Coors. I mean, I caught a lot of hell. But I got Clay Dabber made me a clay statue of me. And he put it right with all the other great guys that he made, and that was pretty cool. And I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed myself. I'm not going to say that it was an experience. It was an experience I'm glad I got to do. But knowing how it is, I would never want to go in that yard again. You know what I'm saying? I probably would not be too nice to him, and I don't think I could be civil to him anymore. So
right. So you got some more fans in there tonight. That's nice.
Hi, Gina Bobina. How are you?
Oh, Rich Little is turning in his grave. All right, guys. I've had a great time with this.
Me too.
So let's go ahead and plan for next Saturday, same time, per Joey, same bat time, same bat channel. And tomorrow night, Chad and Joey are rejoining me for the Three Can Keep a Secret podcast, as we are going to be looking at the Browns Chicken Massacre from 1993 in Palatine, Illinois. It was, when you guys you realize what happened in this series of murders that happened in one night, and how it took 9 years before they could actually put somebody behind bars for it. It's ridiculous. So, Joey, you got anything to say before we head out tonight?
No, just please watch us tomorrow with our podcast on Poe on the Go. Check out Clearwater Chad. I'm telling you guys to really get into it. Poe does some great stuff during the week. He did some interesting podcasts. I'm telling you, it's worth watching. And just I hope everybody can tune in for Tuesday. because I'm getting a lot of feedback, and I got a lot of people writing me saying, if you do this right, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to come over to this, because this is something they've been wanting for somebody to break Rocco's chops a little bit. I put a lot of work in this weekend. I made packages. I made clips. I've been putting the effort in. So let's hope I can pull it off on Tuesday. And that will tell if we're going to be successful or not. So with this one, I think we're going to hit a home run with this one. So
excellent. Excellent. Thank you for that call out there. Chad, what about you?
The only thing I have to say is my name is Stuttering John, and I will be taking a road trip to Michigan because nobody insults the Duke of this Devilverse.
All right. All right,
That's
folks.
great.
Well, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this. We normally don't do a Saturday night, but looks like we're going to start doing it now and start, this guy is just a fountain of content, folks. It's incredible what we're seeing out of this guy. So as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this. And remember, life is short. You get one shot. Make it count.
thank you for all the love and hate